Right, I'm doing this small film. It was my intention to tell you about this. A long investigation at Wakefield Council into allegations of corruption, much of it. Among other things, I want to talk about lies they tell you about flooding, about the chief executive, some of our MPs, but under circumstances and unprecedented times we're living in at the moment with the coronavirus, I want to also talk about that. Firstly, I want to mention about the banks. We all remember banks. Did anyone out there get a letter saying, we're going to use your tax to bail the banks out? No. When banks become profitable, excuse me, did anybody get a letter saying, thank you for using your tax money, here's a few quid? No. Well, now it's time for people to be bailed out in a big way, a really big way, more than ever before, because the catastrophe, when it's over, this coronavirus, isn't going to end for a lot. A lot of people are going to be in some serious bother financially. Businesses are going under, we all know. Now, what I'm going to suggest, and you can bear with me with this, why can't the government give everyone off work £600 a week? We keep hearing about 80% self-employed. There are scenarios out there what we don't even know yet. Let's just take a couple. The self-employed. I'm on £1,000 a week. Can I have 800, 80%? You know what gets said? Prove it. It's at my accountant's. My accountant's closed because of coronavirus. Well, you can't have anything. That's reality. That's reality. You might have a chap, I've been up sick 2 weeks with a bad back, I'm just going back to work. I'm in debt as it is. I don't know what I'm going to do. Tough. You might have a mum come home now, 3 kids, looking after them, bills going sky high, gas, electric, food. Friend comes along, can you watch my 2? Of course I will. These scenarios are they're happening now. And the backbone of this country, the people who bail it out constantly, need some major help. The loans, the 80%, the loans, interest loans, nothing. Nothing. What needs to happen is this. Why can't you give £600 a week to people? Let's go into it. If the government is allowed to print money, which I understand, you can't just print money, I understand all that, it don't work like that, but if it were done unilaterally with all other countries and it all went up unilaterally, balanced, then it could be done. Why couldn't it be done? Why couldn't millions and billions be printed for poorer people? For anybody, in fact. What you say is this, well, we can't do that and it doesn't work like that. Why doesn't it work like that? Why can't every government get their heads together with other countries? Let me put it another way. If an atomic bomb dropped now, every government in every country, they would all come together within a day. Well, look at it like this. There are thousands of atomic bombs going off now, invisible ones called coronavirus, unprecedented, and you're just not getting a grasp of it. The main heartache is going to come after the coronavirus for many people. Now I understand you're going to have somebody say, they only earn £300 or £400, we're going to give them 6. But then on the other hand, you might have somebody self-employed, £1,000, we're going to give him 6. It equals itself out. Yeah, you might have the people in between saying, well, I work hard and I don't get that money. I understand that. But you're talking about humans saving humanity, basically, and all pushing together. And when you give somebody who's earning £300 or £400 6, the poorest of the poor, that strugglers who don't have money to save, and the thing is this, what's going to stimulate this country when we come out of it? What is going to stimulate it? Not your 80%, not your loan, what people have got into debt with. And putting that money in them pockets, people are going to have that money there. They're going to spend. When it's over, they'll spend. There'll be a confidence to spend. Let me put it another way. If you're a business, small, large, say British Airways or a cafe, coronavirus has finished now. What do? You struggle like oh, you barely can open your shop. Airlines are asking for bailouts. You sit there praying, I hope somebody comes and buys me goods. I hope somebody flies on our plane. I hope somebody comes in my bar or cafe or wherever. And that's what you do, you're hoping. That's one scenario. Right, other scenario. Government has given everybody £600. They put plenty of money forward for people. So when it ends, they can come at you, they can come in your shops. What would you sooner have? But do you know what they'll do? They're stupid. They'll probably give somebody like British Airways as an instance, what, here's 500 million bailout. What's the point bailing an airline out if people can't afford to fly? It's just a pointless exercise. This world, this country, is like a bike cog. And all them little cogs on it are the workers, the businesses. And when one cog fails, the bike doesn't go properly. The rest of it doesn't work. The machine doesn't work. But that little cog, usually, it's the lower people. It's always the people at the bottom who suffer. Well, it's time now that you bailed them out properly. If all 60 million people or more in this country could come to House of Commons and say, you work for us. We don't work for you. We want £600 a week. That's what we want, then you do it. But you piss about 80%, you can have a look. What is the point giving a bar owner a loan with interest, and then it all ends and there's nobody can come in his bar? He's got his loan to pay with his interest and nobody's got no money to go out. Is it going to be so bad to give somebody £600? Whether they earn £200, £300, £400, £500, giving them £600, it's the big confidence. You talk about confidence to governments. You always talk about confidence. Well, there ain't no confidence in what you're doing. And I'd like Boris Johnson, if he ever sees this, stand up in House of Commons and you tell me this. Why you cannot give £600? All countries, if you all come up together printing money, then it can be done like that. You know that. But it's always the low people kept down. There's going to be thousands upon thousands of people in misery when this ends. Absolute misery. And it's always the poorer, the backbone of the people. Always. Every time that's what happens. The upper echelon of people like the people who run my council, Meron McRae, Peter Box, the £3,500 a week people. It doesn't hurt people like that. But the normal person it does. But if you want to, the stimulus needs to be now. And the only way you're going to produce a stimulus is money. Money makes the world go round, and putting money in people's pockets. I mean 80%. What you're left with? What you're left with when it ends? Nothing. But if you can tell me why you can't give people £600, fair enough. You're just going to leave catastrophe on catastrophe. Every time. And as I say, it's like invisible atomic bombs going off by the minute. And you're just not grasping it. You're really not grasping it. You think offering a loan, what good is a loan? Really? And then, I want to come to profiteering. I haven't heard Boris Johnson now stand up at his box in House of Commons, because I want you to stand up and I want you to tell this world, this country, if you come across profiteering or price hiking, then people who do it are going to feel full weight at law and be treated. So, personally, they should have their pants pulled down and whipped with barbed wire across the arses, then sent on a little desert island. I know we don't do that. And then I want every MP, and I want people who see this to look for your MP in Commons and see if they stand up and second it, say, yeah, if I find out about hiking in my district, that person will be shut down for good. No two ways about it, shut down. Now, what last thing I'm going to oh yeah, did anybody see Arnie Schwarzenegger not tell it the other day self-isolating? How nice. An 8-inch Cuban, a multi-million-pound property in a jacuzzi with dog licking sweat off him. Is that really what it's about, isolating, Arnie? Do you understand? People don't live like that. Won't it been more appropriate to don a mask walk down to boroughs that haven't got no money and say, look, there's $20 million here of mine and I'm going to dish it out. And not way back home to jacuzzi, I'm going to knock on all my buddies and ask them to. I know it's hard, because I'll only be left with 250 million. So you want to think about that, because cinemas, when this ends, people ain't going to have money for cinemas, takeaways. It's all going to end for a long, long time. But the stimulus, if you're going to start it now, government, £600 is fair. Fair to everyone. Fair to people who get a bit more, fair to people who get a bit less. And the workers, all I can say to workers is this: if you feel badly done to, feel this in your hearts. You're helping humanity. You're helping your fellow human beings, and you're helping the people mainly who get nothing. Can you imagine the pressure taken off people to get £600? And the Department of Work and Pensions, they're going to be so weighed under. Can you imagine how it's a stimulus for them? It's so much easier to just, boom, £600. You haven't got that self-employment element. You haven't got this element, that element. It's £600. And if you work and you're on sick, £600. Just simple as, it's not hard to do. But you tell me in House of Commons, Johnson, you stand up and tell me why you can't get £600. You're going to ins and outs. We can't just print money. This is unprecedented. This is the biggest catastrophe anyone will see. Nobody's seen this. Last catastrophe like this, when dinosaurs got wiped out. So yeah, it does need £600. And it's not asking a lot really, that is it? It's saying to people, here, there's money to live on, and when we get better, you've got confidence and money in your pocket to go out and spend and pick everybody else up. Needs to be done. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I was supposed to be showing you a lot of videos today about all corruption at Wakefield, so if you bear with it and drop on this site, Wakefield Corruption, shortly, you'll see, you're going to be disgusted. People of Wakefield, when they see it, they're going to be disgusted. Unbelievable. With MPs, everything. And we've got rid of one MP, Mary Creer. I mean, I've got quite a bit to say about her. I informed her about all corruption, and you'll see when it comes. And Yvette Cooper, they don't want to know. They never want to know when it comes down to it. And there is a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of issues with flooding, what the bid from people. And now I know it all, and I'm going to tell you all about it, every single bit. So get ready. Thank you.